Good evening, and welcome to the St. Petersburg by Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Bloody Strings.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to St. Pete by Night, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game set in the world of darkness. We play Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and Werewolf the Apocalypse. I am your humble storyteller this evening, Devlin Kane, one of many junior storytellers here at St. Pete by Night. Make sure to check out our St. Pete by Night social media platforms. That includes X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But the thing you really ought to go check out is our website, stpbynight.com. We have a city map, storyteller profiles, and a one-of-a-kind threat meter. And if you aren't already subscribed here on Twitch or YouTube, wherever it is that you're watching this, go ahead and hit that follow button so you can go back and catch up on past episodes. But if you wanted to play with us, which I really think you do, come join our Discord. What are you waiting for? Come join this amazing community that we have helped put together. Today, we're watching Bloody Strings, one of many of the chronicles here at St. Pete by Night. I hope you enjoy the show. Let's meet our players. And these are my lovely players. Please introduce yourselves again.
Hello, I am Noree. I am playing Bella the Malkavian.
And I am Kyrie, and I'm playing Grei Novak, the Toreador with big dreams.
Hello, I'm Lekar, and I am once again playing Matthew Halden, the Toreador.
Hello, I'm Truckexe, and I'm playing International Man of Mystery, Nicholas Baldridge, a Malkavian.
All right. Quick recap. Last we left off, we had a couple of important things take place. First was Nicholas's apology to the Malkavians, where the entire coterie went with him to meet with Al in Primogen and Oracle of St. Petersburg, Charlie. After a discussion and a little bit of probing on Al's side, revealed that there definitely has been some manipulation on Nick. It made a promise to help him figure out more information if he did Al a favor. After wrapping up this conversation, they moved on. A couple days later, they went and spoke with the prince of the city, Carmine, in regard to Sarah and what is to be done with her in the situation. They ended up resolving to tell Carmine about the outbreak and everything that has happened to Sarah up to this point. Carmine, in the spirit of the city, decided to spare Sarah under a couple of conditions. After they left the meeting, they received an article describing a few people found dead in a kind of mafia-style execution. Cement shoes on their feet left in the bay. With a text telling them to go meet with a particular doctor, the one who viewed the bodies. It's been roughly a week, and a few things have happened since then, and we're going to start by looking at a couple of those. To begin with, Bellatrix, what are you up to this evening?
Bellatrix is stepping into Cheryl's diner, the small diner she had visited to once a little while ago. And she is looking for Cheryl in particular.
Won't even make you roll for it. Cheryl is serving tables, taking orders up at the counter, and then tending to people between customers.
I'm going to go ahead and move up and take a seat at the counter.
Okay. You go over to the counter, have a seat. Cheryl steps away from the person a few stools down from you, turns toward you, and smiles. Well, hello, I haven't seen you in a little bit.
I know, I've been busy. How have you been?
Doing all right. Diner's doing a little better than last time we met. Things are smoothing out. Can I get you anything?
What kind of tea do you have? Hot tea?
We got some sweet tea. I mean, I could probably throw something in a pot for you and
Sure.
just not put ice in it. All right. She goes over and begins that process.
I'm going to pull out a tarot deck and start just doing like a 3-card reading as I'm waiting for her.
Okay. After a few moments, she fills up someone's coffee a little bit further down the counter, comes back over, and then brings you a cup of hot sweet tea.
I'll pick it up and smell it and then set it down. I'm gonna let it cool for a few minutes.
Sure thing. Where's your friend?
Oh, she's actually taking care of the shop tonight.
That's right. I've been meaning to come say hello. It's been real busy here.
Well, it's good the business has picked up.
It has. Not sure exactly what the direct connection was, but a lot of people from the campus, college, started coming up here after the fire a few weeks ago.
Interesting. So how have you been other than the business? You seemed a little sad last time.
Well, just family stuff.
Oh. Families can be hard.
Yeah.
Would you like me to do a reading for you?
She kind of looks around. Is it going to take long? Because I do have other customers I have to tend to.
I can do a small one.
Give me a Charisma persuasion.
Okay. Can I use marketing as my specialty?
I'm going this. You haven't framed this as a marketing of your
Gotcha.
business so much. It's kind of just like a friendly little thing. So I'm going to say no.
All right. Three successes.
She kind of sits there for a moment. Alright, let me check on everybody first. Sure.
Okay.
She steps away, goes around the diner, kind of topping off drinks, seeing if anybody needs anything else.
I'll start shuffling the cards.
She takes care of a couple people's tickets and then sends them off. She comes back over. Okay. Ready whenever.
Cut the cards. I need you to touch them.
She reaches down, takes the top half, sets it down, grabs the bottom, sets it on top.
Thank you. I'll shuffle it one more time and then I'll lay out three cards. And as I lay them out, I am looking to pop premonition. I am trying to get first card past, second card present, third card future for her. And I'm looking for a good, like, small outcome.
Okay, so you were trying to find a very specific style of outcome. Okay. Go ahead and do the Rouse check and then give me resolve aspects.
Okay. Do not get hungrier. But I am going to blood surge, now that I think about it. And I'll spend a willpower to reroll. Four successes.
So this is for, you're trying to get a visual on 3 instances, past, present, and future, with a positive outcome?
Yes. Or I'd like the future to lead to a positive outcome.
Got it. Okay. As you are finishing handling the cards, you begin to you begin the process of like revealing them to get the visions. And then the glass shatters across. You kind of swiftly zone in to one of these areas, pushing past all of the unnecessaries. For the past, you don't get a whole lot. You don't see a visual of her, I should say. You see what appears to be an old school kind of like a simple design stuffed rabbit. Almost resembles like a more detailed sock kind of situation. Just very long. The stuffing is mostly removed. It kind of sags a bit. Very long, kind of limp arms, and these long, floppy ears. And there is a very large kind of stuffed elephant sitting on top of it, with a rabbit kind of splayed out. As you continue to observe, it seems as though the elephant is forcing the rabbit to sink into the surface that it's resting on. And then it shifts. At present, you just kind of see a constant grinding gear. But you can see there are spaces that are starting to wear. Places that are starting to not function. And it is starting to spread across the entirety of the system. And then it shifts again, and with 4 successes, you do see a space, and this does seem to focus on her a little bit more. She is kind of... She's seated above an old woman, who she is clearly fond of. The woman seems bedridden, clearly taking care of her in some capacity. It seems like a very serene scene, and you kind of get this sense of moving forward and kind of improving, but you notice something kind of lingering in the corner. A silhouette of what appears to be a person, but you can clearly see the eyes in the silhouette piercing through. The eyes are blue, and then the eye kind of turns, not looking at you, but in your direction. Like, you can tell that it's not a perception of your presence. But then a third one opens up between the two. And the vision ends. She's kind of sitting there watching you for a moment. Well, you got anything?
I think so. So, this card right here, I'll point to the first one, represents your past. From it, I'm getting a lot of, perhaps you felt a bit suffocated by something in your life. Like it's pushing you down beneath the surface.
Well, I mean, all of us deal with something, right?
Yeah, we all do. This is your present card, this middle one. Here, I feel like you're really trying to get the diner working, maybe grinding all your gears to make sure that things stay profitable. But it's starting to wear on you a bit, I think. Just remember, once it starts to wear a little too much, it's going to wear all of you down. So you do need to make sure that you keep up with taking care of yourself.
You can see at this point there seems to be a discomfort in response to the words you're saying. All right.
Here I see, it seems that there's someone that you care dearly for, maybe an older mentor, possibly a grandmother, great aunt. Something is that you're caring for. She seems to be kind of sick, but it looks like there may be some way to help her in the future that may come up.
I take care of my aunt.
Huh. Well, you definitely, I do see a lot of care for between you two, a lot of affection and love. But there's hope in the future for her. Fortunately, it's not clear what that help is. I wish it was more. Maybe if I could do a more in-depth reading, if you could come visit me, we could try to pin down.
You got all that by looking at 3 cards.
So, it's not just the cards. You see, the pictures actually help depict. There's symbolism in there. Like this one. I'll take strength, which is the middle one, and be like, so the lion represents the strength, but the woman by his side, also see how he is calm around her. That also indicates certain signs. You just have to look at different symbolism in the art, and then understand the people you're speaking with, and then I hope for a little magic.
Understand the person you're speaking with, so you're saying that you have a strong enough understanding of me that you can get that information.
Maybe. I feel like we're kindred spirits.
Give me another charisma persuasion. And I will let you use your specialty this time.
Okay. I will be blood searching again.
Okay.
Five successes.
She sits there for a moment. Okay. I usually leave the diner closed on Thursdays. I'll swing by next week. Sound good?
Sounds wonderful. I'll save a spot for you.
I'll see you then.
Okay.
Bella. Right?
Bella, yes. I'll hand her a new card just in case you lost the other one.
Sure. Is there anything else I can get you?
No, I think I'll just enjoy the tea.
I can't drink it hot, but whatever works for you. She puts the card in her little apron, and then she returns to tending to the other customers.
Excellent. I will drink the tea. I don't care if it's a abomination to teas everywhere, because all the tea tastes like ash to me, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Are you doing anything else in the scene, or are you leaving after that?
No, but I thought of something. As she does smell the tea, it does remind her of her days back in the asylum when she could only get cheap tea and hot water.
Yeah, this is Lipton, orange tea. That's just heated and thrown into some sugar. That's
It kind of reminds her of those days, and she'll grow a little sad. Bit melancholy at it. But other than that, no. Finish the tea. Head back to the shop to expel tea before meeting the group.
As you leave the diner, this does beg the question, what has been going on with Sarah? Which is why we'll be switching over to Grei. What is Grei doing this evening?
Yeah, after having a discussion with Bella, convincing her that anything if she needed to do anything, he would keep an eye on the fledgling. He is currently at the tea shop without Bella, which is strange, and with the child, which is worse. Kind of lean back and put his feet up.
You make your way, or well, you have your feet up. She is kind of awkwardly and quietly also sitting in the room across from you. She's wearing, last time you saw her was kind of like a pink kind of pantsuit. Today she's wearing very similar outfit, but instead of like the long skirt, it's and like long pants. The pants are a little bit more billowed toward the bottom. Not quite as expanded as like bell bottoms or like parachute pants, but they are a little flared. She's sitting down across from you, and she's just kind of staring at you.
You're Scrooge, you know that, right? On both near and far time horizons.
From the Christmas play?
From a bunch of different directions, actually. Let's start with the closest. Has Bella filled out the paperwork to become your guardian? Legally? Do you even know if she started?
I don't.
It's one thing for you to be under her wing, as it were. For our society, it's quite another thing for the mortals. They're not going to take kindly to someone your age walking around without a parent.
I imagine that's not really an issue if someone asks a question.
You'd what?
Well, I've mostly been able to just tell them to leave me alone, and they leave me alone.
And when bystanders see this happening? Bystanders that you don't see?
I haven't really spotted any bystanders yet, I guess. Is there an issue with me just telling them to leave me alone and them respecting that?
Depends on how you tell them. It depends on what position of authority they think they have. Let's say it's a cop. You tell the cop to leave you alone. What do you do about the cop's partner back at the car?
Assumed they would leave with the partner.
That's if you're lucky. You need to not rely on luck. You need to know what's going to happen. You need to be able to say, oh, I'm out doing an errand for my mother, or, oh, I live at such and such address, wherever Bella decides to claim her permanent address is.
At this point, she kind of shifts her position and she turns a little bit more toward you. Okay.
That's in the very short term. Let's look a little bit wider. 2 years. What are you going to do without a GED? What are you going to do without any sort of education at all, especially when it comes to us?
Well,
And the
I
world.
intend to educate myself at some point.
Some point.
I'm currently
True.
being taught how to navigate everything by Belle and apparently you.
By Bella, who has difficulty navigating the back rooms of her own tea shop. Let's be honest.
And what do you suggest I do?
Well, as soon as you can. You get your GED. You take college courses. The education system in this country is not the best, but take advantage of it where you can.
I am a little curious if I were to take that route, fully re-immerse myself into the system. I'm not going to age. So I will be a 14-year-old in college, and then what do I do with those degrees?
It's not about what you're going to do with them. You're not going to get a job.
Then why have them? Why can't I learn these things on my own? Why do I have to go to school and put myself more as create more of a presence of myself if I'm not going to do anything with the reward at the end? What does that give me?
Structure. Unless you think you can really do it without the structure. So that's the problem with homeschooled kids. They have no structure. They only pursue the things that they think are interesting. And so they get blindsided by things that they don't think are interesting. If you're going to do all of that, you need a tutor. For multiple subjects, not just a generalist. You're going to want several specialists. And you're going to want Bella to pay for it. You should tell her this. You don't want her to pay for anything.
Not if I can help it.
Okay, that's another thing.
The weight and the response, to some extent, obviously. I understand what I'm putting on her and you all by association. I a little bit anyway.
And you care about that.
I don't want to be the burden in my own life that I was in my life. So yes, until I am independent, I very much care about that.
In that case, take everything you can get your hands on. If you can get one of us to pay for it, make one of us pay for it.
That feels like the opposite of what I just said I want to do.
Right. And I'm telling you, you're wrong.
How so?
If you can get something for free, take it for free. Don't waste your own resources trying to get it. None of us are going to look out for you in the way that you're going to look out for you. If I were to step on any of Bella's interests, Matt's, Nick's, there'd be knives in my back, and I'd be out in the sun before you could snap your fingers. And I would expect that they would expect the same from me. Territory is a very real thing, but it's not always physical. Take what you can get until you can make your own.
Go ahead and roll for me. based on your intent.
Yeah, I'm not lying to her. This is all life lessons.
Give me charisma persuasion then.
Is she affected by my looks?
I think she finds you not unpleasant to look at, but that's basically the extent of it. Like, you're pretty. Cool.
Four successes.
Okay. Say I do that. That feels a lot like
Using someone.
Yes. That feels like I would be taking advantage. And that's... You are specifically Bella, and you, again, by association, can be in a lot of trouble, depending on how things play out. And it sounds like you already have a lot on your plate. Me claiming your resources.
That's clumsy. You don't do it in a clumsy way. You do it in a charming way. You do it with a smile. You ask pretty please. You position it like it's something you need. Like you can't go without it. And even better, if it is something you need and that you can't go without.
Give me a wits insight.
Critical 6 successes.
When you phrase it like it's something you need, like you can't go on without, you notice there's this slight shift in her eyes, like you catch that she recalls something in the moment, and then quickly slips back. So,
What was that? What were you thinking just then?
I'm sorry.
What were you thinking just then?
I was thinking about what you were saying.
No, you weren't. You weren't here for a moment. You went away and came back.
I keep seeing things he's done. And sometimes it feels gross. It feels horrible. And it doesn't always feel like it's an observation. It feels like I'm doing it. And then sometimes there are times it doesn't feel bad.
I know this is going to be very, very difficult for you to understand right now. But there's nothing wrong with that. Not for us.
What do you mean?
I don't think any others of them are going to understand what it's like to have a roommate. I've been where you are, trying to sort out which one's which.
Really? How did you figure out how to sort it?
A lot of practice. But you make them real. You make them where you can see them. You take all those memories and all those emotions and all those feelings and you roll them all up into some persona, a face that you remember seeing.
Have you done it again?
Come close a couple times.
What stops you?
I don't want to have to sort out my pieces again.
So sorting helped with that.
It did. And he is never going to go away. It's not going to get better with time. It'll get easier, but it won't get better. And it's going to take some time before you're even spiritually normal again.
Spiritual?
Those of us who have really, really good sight, like Nick maybe, can see spirits. And what you did is going to leave yours marked, tainted, ugly. And anyone who can see is going to see it.
See.
It's a stain that doesn't go away.
But the prince knows, so I should be okay. Until then, right?
Should be. But just because somebody says something doesn't mean someone else won't do something. So you need to be aware. Others might see you in a way you don't want them to. That part fades with time, but the stain doesn't ever go away. There's only one thing that I found that helps. That helps you feel clean again. You're going to hear a lot about pain, I'm certain, as you get older. You might even hear a bit about Lilith. You might even hear something about those of us that are so old they can blot out the sun, devour the stars. There's only one of us that was truly an angel. And that's the only one that can save us. Especially sinners like you and me.
You believe that?
Wholeheartedly. Part of how I was able to put myself back together.
Feels like a crutch. No offense, just...
No, it's none taken. When you haven't actually experienced anything divine in your entire life, it's hard to understand the divine. But spend your time looking for something other than a crutch. And when you don't find anything that makes the stain go away, and when you don't find anything that makes you feel better, and when you still feel hollow and disgusting for having done things that you never did, ask me to tell you about Michael.
I'll think about it. I think I have a lot to think about. I think I'm gonna go read for a bit, but thank you. You've given me a lot to consider. And thank you for sharing. You didn't have to do that.
You're more than welcome. I'll smile.
She kind of bows her head a little bit. She hops off the chair, and she walks away.
As she leaves, he is thinking she didn't listen to a damn thing I said. None of us do anything out of the kindness of our hearts. And this wasn't a kindness, Sarah.
We will shift seats. As we step away from the tea shop, what is Nick doing?
Other than the most random urge to smack Grei upside the head that he can't really explain. He's currently he's at Cigar Stag in the office, mainly just filling out some notes to himself. At the top of the first page is the name Lyndon Carlisle, though next to it says wait. The other, he's been looking. The majority of it is him having looked into what was going on with Mina, all that he had learned so far, and it's not to the point of consuming him, but it's kind of starting to get close. He hasn't got the whiteboard up yet.
And what is it you're trying to do?
He's trying to mix premonition, the vehicle, knowing about what he does about the vehicle, the location, maybe even trying to pinpoint. Like he's going through all his technical know-how, mixing it with the supernatural to get as much info as he can, because he wants to get Mina back from that.
Go ahead and do the rash check. and then give me a resolve and aspects. If
I'm also,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm also gonna blood search.
Okay. You will receive a helpful clue on 5 successes, but if you get a crit, I'll give you a little something extra.
I'm gonna spend a willpower. Five straight.
Begin focusing on the information. Like usual, your vision kind of begins to tunnel as your peripheral turns to shadow. You get a dim visual of a dark space. It's almost as if you're sitting kind of on the side with your back to a wall. As you kind of look around, there is a wall maybe 4 feet from you. You turn to the left, you see another wall, but there appears to be a deliberately carved, kind of like a slot for a door. And you realize that you are in probably the back of a truck. You notice that there is movement in the space around you. And when you look down, you see the familiar shape of the woman you saw at the facility north of town. Because you did not get a crit. Well, I didn't want to give you a clue. You are in a truck. In the truck with the individual, I will say you will notice one of the armed guard that seem to be watching over. On the right side of their vest, there is a label. It doesn't have a name. It's more of a emblem of sorts, and it appears to be a quill with an eye at the head. But before you can get any further details in this situation, you did not crit. You feel something wrong all of a sudden. Something pulling you away, and you think back on the conversation you had with Al. Yes, you think back about the conversation with Al. You suddenly see this large, almost as you pan out, you are looking at what appears to be a massive spider's web. And you see in the corner something large and nasty kind of sleeping. But then to the left, you see a long arm come out of the shadow and touch the web, causing it to reverberate. And then another one. You feel something pulling you toward the center of the web. And with each vibrating strand, you hear someone singing. and then your vision ends.
Kidnapping. He'll look down as notes. He'll do a quick rough sketch of the emblem as he's trying to think what it all can mean. More so that it's just one more thing he has to navigate to avoid more problems. And for a moment, he'll stop drawing and in the notes go, can I compromise with it? Should I? Before taking the emblem, and now he's going to try to look up the emblem and continue trying to monitor for CCTV footage based on that night. See if he can pick up that truck in the area and follow it best he can if he can. Drumming his fingers on the desktop. Irritation.
Give me a wits and insight.
Let's certainly say it's too distracted about that.
I'm going to say this is relevant to your distraction. So if you're...
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, he had blood surge, because it's just more and more infuriating.
This is more of a situation of you just trying to sit down and really evaluate what it is you picked up.
Mhm. Five successes.
As you are kind of calling back the image to your mind, trying to remember, you notice that there was an odd shape to the web. And then it dawns on you to look at your computer and you pull up the map of St. Petersburg. And the web seems to shape oddly to the city. And the center of that web kind of... You guys are already kind of close to downtown St. Petersburg. This isn't far from where your haven is at the center, where that singing seemed to be ringing from, to a place called... In the area, it seemed to be focused on a place called Books and Beverages.
We'll look at it.
Sorry, bourbon.
Books and bourbon.
Books and bourbon. I can read.
Just making a note for myself to go there in a second. He'll look at it. Look at the notes that he was taking to find Mina. I got a question, Farrah.
Mm-hmm.
We do have the Malkavian coterie merit, correct?
Yeah.
If no, I should wait to bring it up. But I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, he's looking at notes to find Mina. The Google image probably pulled up. As if torn between what he wants to do and what's tugging at him to do. He's going to pull away from the image of books and bourbon and go back to looking for me.
As you continue reflecting, we're going to shift the scene again. Now, this scene is going to include everybody, however, I'm going to let Matthew kind of lead it a bit. Where do you want to have this gathering? Do you want to meet back at the coterie heaven?
Actually, he would ask that everybody show up at the studio.
Okay. You all are invited to Matthew's studio. I'll say that you guys arrive about the same time. Matthew, if you want to give a quick description of it again for me.
When you first walk in, the house is on the outside. It looks like a normal house for residentials, but once you go inside, it's a very open first floor. There are stairs leading upstairs, and there are easels and paints just stacked up in corners, and he's got a couple of work that he's done. As soon as you walk in, you will see the very prominent displayed painting that he did of the coterie. Next to that is a very striking woman in a red dress surrounded by roses, if you haven't seen that one before. And he will look kind of somber when he invites everybody in and shuts the door. Hey guys.
This is a different place than we usually meet.
I was working on some stuff. I had an idea, and I don't know, I don't think me walking in my current headspace just alone would be a smart idea. So,
well, I've been trying to look into it. As far as I can tell, they're keeping her mobile. All I get is a truck. I'm trying to correlate CCTV from the area to see if I can find it, but let's just say Blanche is not liking me poking into things. But I did make some progress on that. But I'm more worried about Mina. I'm doing all I can.
We already know what they want. Just give them what they want.
That just feels too easy, correct?
Edwin? Are we actually giving Edwin over?
There's a question about that, which is why I asked everybody to come here. I had an idea to kind of fake doing this with Edwin, and he gave me a counter proposal. He offered to let himself be actually staked. The caveat to that is he wants to wipe our marker clean.
Like stake to hand him over? Because there's got to be some sort of catch to that.
In this line of work, there's a catch to everything.
Can't imagine that he doesn't have precautions for us betraying.
Well, there's an actual time frame on this that I'm terrified to know what happens if we miss the deadline.
And Matt,
Our eyeballs melt out of our heads like we've viewed the Ark of the Covenant.
good reference. I do feel it's worth mentioning. Considering we live in a supernatural world, I feel sometimes it might be worth mentioning the concept of Murphy's Law.
Nick, the life I've led, Murphy and me are good fucking friends.
I know. I feel we need to have a plan to fulfill his criteria.
Well, I didn't say yes because I wanted to talk to you all about it first. I wasn't about to hand over our cards.
I'm confused. What are you hoping? What is the goal of the whole Edwin thing? Are you looking to get a picture to buy time? And if so, what is the plan after that? Or are you actually planning to hand him over?
The point was at first just to get proof of life, if you want to call it that, just so they know. So in case they decide to start, mailing packages, one of them isn't the size of a matchbox and then get progressively bigger.
Right, but if you give proof of life, the proof that you have him in your clutches, so to speak, what do you think is going to happen then? Then they're going to give you a deadline to turn him over. And that deadline is probably not going to be a week. It's probably going to be a day or less. So what plan do you have if you plan to send this? Or are you planning to hand him over? I'd like to know the plan before we agree to anything.
Hostage negotiation and, exchange, not really my forte. You want to ask me how I would personally try to rip the Mona Lisa off the wall from the Louvre? I'd give you a detailed plan left and right. What the guards were eating that day, what time the shift change was. I can give you that. This, I got no clue, Bella. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Okay.
Nick's going to walk over. Look at Matt. Whatever it takes. Do what we can. We're just going through all the things that we can and all the permutations. Similar to a heist. And also trying to expect how things are going to go off the rail. At the very least, Matt, my priority is her. Getting her back to you.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I get it, dude.
All right. Yeah. Plan it like a heist. Priceless artifact on the other side. Contingencies. Okay. My original plan was to fake turning him over. But if we can get him there, figure out who the hell it is that's got her, get him, her, and us out relatively unscathed. Step 3, profit.
Maybe I can make a suggestion. Just a suggestion. We go through with the stake, drag him in front of whoever these people are. We recover the person that's important to you. We pull the stake out, and either Edwin sorts his business, or he doesn't.
I feel like it's something that needs to be pointed out is that we are expecting these people to operate on good faith. And considering our world, as you like to say, Grei, that's not in line.
Also, if this thing that he did has a time limit, who's to say he doesn't have to be back at his office by that time limit?
Well, if he can't sort his business, then all of our heads explode.
I would
The
rather
other
my
thing
head
is-
not explode.
Another thing
I'd
that
rather mine doesn't either.
Another thing that I saw is that at the very least they have a guard on her constant, all one move. This is definitely on point. Matt, and Nick will pull out one of the sheets he written, and he shows the rough sketch of a quill with the eye on the head. Does this mean anything to any of y'all? Was this an emblem I was able to get off one of her guards?
So it resembles kind of like a peacock feather?
It looks like a quill, probably made from like a raven's feather, stabbed into an eye on the other end.
Okay.
Is that anything I'm familiar with at all, Bear?
Same.
You can make a intelligence and politics.
I got 4 successes, surprisingly.
2 here.
There's a lot of symbolism when it comes to the feather or the eye, things on that line. But you cannot think of anything where these, in a specific fashion that you're being presented, nothing rings a bell.
For either of us?
Either of you.
Okay.
Okay, like I said, we give him Edwin. We let Edwin get his wits back about himself. And who knows, maybe he uses whatever he did with that ring that had you so terrified. Kills them all.
I don't like this idea.
It's beyond foolish.
Edwin couldn't even save himself from Benjamin. Twice. And he had guards. We are not the best fighters.
And we can only expect that whoever these people are expecting something amiss. Like a small...
I'm failing to see the problem as long as we get back Matt's friend.
Well, that's just it. Like,
Our head's exploding. That is the problem.
Well, okay.
No. He only said that our heads would explode if the stake wasn't removed.
Grei is embellishing. He didn't actually tell us what would happen. He just said something would happen. It could be our heads explode. It could be the whole city comes out after us. We don't know. I'd rather not find out. And that does bring up a very well thought out point. But I'll save that one as a surprise. Don't worry, it ain't gonna hurt any of us. It ain't gonna hurt any of you.
is it gonna hurt you?
That's a glass casket scenario?
Look. Al said that he's gonna fall to his own machinations soon. And the ring would be ours to deliver. So I just want to make sure that those falling in the machinations doesn't lead to it spreading out to us. Unlike you, Grei, I actually value my existence.
I absolutely value my existence. I'm one of the most important things on the planet.
You don't act like it.
No, I'm just willing to take risks because they pay off.
You take stupid risks.
Every one of them has paid off so far.
Okay.
I just keep coming back to not trusting these people to act in the same fate.
Nick, Bella, when you went and looked for her the other night, how many were there?
5.
Did you get a number?
At least 5.
One left in a car that had no license plates. I can describe him to you if you wish to sketch him. She was not there, apparently.
She had already been removed in the truck that I had seen, and she was still in it when I looked just before coming here.
So there will be more than 5.
I don't think it's related, but it's worth mentioning because it came from my latest attempt. At some point, I need to check out a place called Books and Bourbon. And I don't think it's going to go.
Does
This
this have to do
is-
with me now?
Right.
That's what I
Related.
don't know. But the shadows are trying. I've been fighting the shadows just as much when it comes to her as some other things recently. I was literally pulled back from finding out more, back to a vision of a web over St. Pete, and some singing was coming from Books and Bourbon.
Okay, let's not go shadow boxing. Let's deal with one thing at a time.
I'm fully willing to admit it's probably not related, but it was perpendicular, so I can't say for certain.
It was adjacent. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking minimum 6.
Do we put him down or not? That was the question.
I vote no.
No, without a plan.
We have a plan. We put him down and turn him over.
That's not a plan.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Not good enough. I want to know what comes after. Turning him over. What is the plan for that? And if you do plan to let him deal with it, how do we deal with whatever time bomb he has on us?
Well, I'm
Either
pretty
he-
sure as long as he's conscious, it won't be a problem. It's the making sure he's conscious again before the time frame, I think, is the problem.
I
think we're starting to go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Just a point of clarification as a storyteller. The information that he said is he has contingencies that he has to check off. He has to stop from going forward. So it's a matter of him not being able to disable those contingencies.
Right.
Not so
He has,
much
like-
that it's a supernatural contingency.
Right, he is like a dead switch he has to go turn off. And if not, things go bad for us. So he has to survive this.
I don't want to stop planning. I feel it's worth pointing out we're starting to go around in circles.
All right. Plan E. We stake him. We find a place to take him that's relatively close, but not so close that they might get suspicious of where he needs to be in case we can get him out in time.
You can use cigar stack. Its back door opens up to many alleys that go in all the directions to the various streets.
Wait, isn't that your place?
Yes.
Why would you want them to know your place? These are people that have threatened someone special to Matt. Why would you want them
Because-
to know to your space?
I don't want them to know my space, but it is something that we can use so that we can get her back for it. And that's what's important to me.
Yeah, but I'd rather not bring down whatever this is down on any place of ours. I sure as hell ain't gonna invite him here.
It's just a business. This
Yeah,
is someone
but it's
important to you.
yours, and I'd rather not trash your place too. Okay.
Why don't we utilize the people in the neighborhood?
That's a plan.
And also, I think it's worth mentioning, Bella, what you saw me do when I was trying to get information on the place, it is significantly easier for me if we're in our domain. But also, if I stay in place and I don't let anything distract me other than communicating what I find out, I can spend all night seeing everything.
Okay.
So having it in our general area that we know will give me basically the best signal, for lack of a better word.
So we just pop you in a van and let you stare off into the distance?
No,
And
I need to be stationary.
Right, we pop you in a van.
A parked van.
Have the
not
van
moving
parked
van.
somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose. Though maybe
Wait,
just being
do
in the
you
city
have to be
will work.
stationary like you can't walk? Or does the whole area have to be stationary? Because you not being able to walk, you can just sit in the van and it could drive around. Like, that's an interesting
No,
concept.
I've got as far as I've ever used it, I have to be secured in the space and constantly monitoring a set boundary.
All right.
But what
Look,
if you
I'm
drove
still
around
getting
that
used to it.
boundary?
I am in a less dire circumstance. I am willing to test it out. I'm still
Yeah.
learning what I used to be able to do.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Nick's the guy in the van.
As usual.
Guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair in the van. Yeah. Bella will do what she does best, and that's, don't take this the wrong way, but be not seen.
Fair.
Me and Grei, since we're the most, we're usually the ones that are frequenting them. If they're keeping an eye anywhere in the vicinity of him, they see us coming and going a lot. So us being the ones that present the body would probably be a safe bet. Grei can do what Grei does best. Wait, you know what, Grei? You just flirt with all of them, try to get at least one of them in the sack. Maybe they'll just hand her over without a problem.
I mean, if you give me long enough, I could probably get them all.
Yeah, but I think Gray's been off his game recently, so I don't know how much we can trust that.
How long do you have?
I'm going to assume not much longer.
They didn't give you a time frame? That's devious.
They definitely know what they're doing.
Yeah, keeping her mobile, having somebody watching her at all times. Yeah, they definitely aren't new to this.
I would almost say.
I
Go ahead.
will say, considering the concept of not being new to this, the kind of organization of it, I will remind you that you received a text from Edwin pointing at the dead bodies from the bay with the instruction to speak with Dr. Jarvis Corp.
Wait, did I get that or did we all get that?
I thought it was just Grei that got it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just with the theme of conversation.
So if you don't want to turn him over, which I don't understand why. Might be worth understanding why they want him.
That's fair. And I'm saying I don't want to turn him over without figuring out how to get rid of the contingency. Or a plan to get him out.
Also, it's entirely possible it's not him, it's the ring that they really want.
Sure. And if we're not going to stake him because the plan's not good enough, then fine.
Oh,
There
I'm
is
totally
something
fine
he
for
does.
forsaking the lying bastard.
Well, there is something he does want us to follow up on.
Is it connected?
Having dealt with Edwin multiple times now, I'm not going to say it's not. But I'm also not going to say it is.
Fine. It's worth a shot. Maybe if we follow up on this and have more information, we can come up with a plan by the end of the night.
I still say we have a plan.
Well, you have a terrible plan. You have a half-cocked plan.
Yeah, but no good story ever started with a glass of milk.
Yeah, but that's not a glass of milk, that's a ticking nuke.
Maybe if you had a better plan, the bus wouldn't have been broken. And if you don't want this bus to be broken, you need to have a good plan.
I feel that's a bit harsh, Bella.
I'm being harsh to be kind, because I don't want this to go crazy.
I mean, I'm backing you up on this one. But, alright. I do think we have hits. I said, like we got out of the circle, but I'm starting to feel like we're circling that drain again.
So let's go investigate. Where are we going?
Some doctor of dead bodies.
Ugh.
Not sure.
Well, Nick, you're the closest to this on proof of life, I suppose. At least you eat the dying.
I'm not sure I'm seeing the connection you're making here.
They're past the expiration date for him, though.
You were close to the expiration date on what you eat.
Look,
None of you might like the idea, but since you did bring up the bust, Edwin's not the only friend that we have.
something else is that
I wouldn't count him as a friend.
we could
So,
look at multiple avenues. I'd like to cross off books and bourbon as unnecessary, but I'm not going to push it. The other thing we can do is possibly, once again, talk to Edwin. Maybe take him the emblem that I found out. The other thing is, I could keep trying to dig into and triangulate that truck.
Or we go talk to this doctor about these people who were found with concrete shoes.
Yeah, it's very New York. Old school New York.
or Chicago.
Yeah.
Al Capone was from Chicago. Like,
And almost all this
What
has some tie to
is-
Chicago.
if it is connected to what's happening to Matt, it would have a tie to Chicago. Which is why I mentioned it.
I was just suggesting to try to get multiple things up, knocked off the list.
At the moment, your vision seems like a personal thing. You don't know what it's connected to.
Hmm.
Do
Fair.
you need someone to go with you? Do you feel that like whatever you're seeing in there is going to lead to your end?
I wish I could say one way or the other. But if you all feel you're better served with me just letting it go, as I said, my priorities is helping Matt,
Well,
so I'll go with.
hang on, because I say you go check it out. Because if it's not connected, it's out of the way and it's no longer a problem. You won't be anywhere in that brain of yours bouncing around.
Yeah. He says it's right over, it's like literally just like right down the block.
If
In
we
our
get that-
territory?
There?
Not quite in the territory, a little closer to central downtown, but it's not far.
It's a bit closer to Central, but not far.
Yeah, I figured get this out of the way. If it's not connected, good. We got that out of the way. We don't have to worry about it ever again. And then we can come back to it at a later date. If it is connected, then we've got another pin.
This is why you talk, Matt, and I just don't. Said it 10 times better than I could have.
Brushstrokes. Brushstrokes. It's monochromatic right now, but I'll add some color later.
Maybe some red of a specific group of people.
No. Oh, it's going to look like a Jackson Pollock painting that time.
Fuck Jackson Pollock. It's a Matthew Halden original.
Okay. Let's go focus on this. I will think of things as we progress. I say we go check out the bodies, see this doctor, and I'll think on the way.
And I'll head to book some bourbon. But I'll keep in contact.
Are you worried? Of the danger. Nick, are you worried? Do you think you're in danger going into this building?
I think I'm not going to stop being in danger until I get answers and then figure out a solution.
Okay. At least you have Alex. We should
Good
go.
luck to y'all.
As they are making plans there, shoot a quick text over to Victor. Quill stuck in an eyeball mean anything to you?
After a few moments while they're still talking. You get a response. No. Already getting creative with the subject.
No, but I do have some ideas. Currently just in a riveting conversation with my coterie.
Can't wait to hear them.
I'll tell you all about it later.
So, 3 of you are going to go investigate the bodies. 1 of you is going to book some bourbon. With that, we will take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll pick up from there with a few new people. We'll see you all very soon.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors, Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Bear the Bard, Champs Tramps, Penshi Artista, and Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, SPbN.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You could find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. Pete by Night. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at coffee.com/St. Pete by Night to help keep the stories rolling.
Hello and welcome back. As I said at the break, we are going to be introducing a few more people, so let's go ahead and introduce them now. Hello, and please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Kendall the Elemental on TikTok, and I'm playing Maggie Haywood of Clan Hakata.
Hi, I'm Mew, and I'll be playing Sophie Clews, and I'm Clan Malkavian.
Welcome to the shit show. Please enjoy the ride. We'll go ahead and dive right into the next episode, or the next part of the episode. The group decided to split up and go in two different directions. Three were going to go investigate the bodies. The other was going to book and bourbon. That is where we will be picking up. So, Nicholas, you and Alex, it's, like I said, not a long drive. You make your way a little bit more central into downtown, and before long you do manage to find the establishment. As you pull up in front of the location, you can hear kind of at the street, you can hear a little bit of music coming from inside as somebody opens the door to step in, and you hear someone singing. A very familiar voice, the one you just heard earlier this evening. Alex kind of taps on your shoulder and sides. Everything alright?
Right up. It's public space, so it wouldn't be too bad. I recognize that voice. You know, just
Someone you remember?
don't know, but it's what drew me here in the first place.
Okay. Well, what do you need me to do?
Just keep an eye on me.
He finds a place to park nearby. Two of you get out, make your way back to the building. As we step into book and bourbon, Mew, would you like to set the scene? What does this place look like to you?
So, three walls, you'll see a bunch of glass bookcases with a lot of very old and fancy looking books. There are a lot of leather-backed books in there. To the left, there's a long bar with what looks like, if you could imagine, most college-aged men who would probably play lacrosse, probably have trust funds, and they're buying, $50 drinks. And they all have Patagonia vests. A small stage near the center, with some tables, you'll find what looks like a very young woman, not usually the age that you would find in a bar, with short, curly strawberry blonde hair. She's also got an outfit on that looks a little hipstery. She has a white cotton blouse on and a brown skirt, and you can see she has stockings on and small black heels. She is singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, And while normally this is kind of more of a toned down song, you could tell there's a lot of sadness in the song. It's almost like a lament that she's singing.
Nick, as you step into the place, you immediately clock where the singing is coming from. You do feel a sense of kind of simultaneously comfort and unease. Not necessarily that you feel there's a threat immediately, but that something seems to be hanging over the area, and you feel in the back of your mind something is wrong. How do you wish to proceed?
The moment something feels wrong, he is popping Sense the Unseen.
Give me what's in awareness.
Wits in awareness or wits in aspects?
Aspects. No. Yeah, what's in awareness, just check the room. I'll let you know if that's required.
Sure thing. It's the same roll regardless. Spending willpower.
Okay.
Five successes.
The scene looks as described. I will say, as you're kind of paying attention, when you activate Sense the Unseen, you're not visibly catching anything, but it's almost like that discomfort grows the moment you trigger aspects.
Normally, in a setting like this, Nick would feel elated. It is extremely discordant to feel discomfort in some place that would normally comfort him, despite the fops on the other side of the room. And generally, not being able to figure out what it is. He'll look at Alex and quickly sign. Something's off, but I cannot figure out.
I'll keep an eye on you.
He's gonna skirt the people for now. And he's going to do something he hadn't done since a sense of something that he used to do however long ago in libraries. He just will find a random book and pull it out.
Sophie, what kind of books do you usually like to keep in?
So this would have a wide range. There are some more limited antiques, but there are some more modern adaptations as well. So you'll find both sci-fi, fantasy, crime, nonfiction, a lot of books about boats, naval war histories.
All right. Using a random book generator, we get a Master of Djinn.
Looking at it, Nick will, despite the discomfort, smile a little. An interesting title as he looks at it, seeing the sci-fi, steampunkish synopsis, and he'll take it with him as he walks back. Though his eyes will keep drifting to Sophie, still trying to figure things out.
Sophie, you come to the end of your set. That something has felt weird for like the last several minutes. You notice toward the end of your performance this awkward kind of discomfort in the back of your mind. And when you look up, kind of scanning the room, you see an individual poking through your books, picking one up, begins kind of looking over it. That sensation grows. What do you do when you finish your song?
So now that I'm done with the set, I'll walk over to the bartender at our bar. He automatically puts out a glass of water because that's the routine. I pick it up and I walk over to this person that doesn't look like they fit in with the typical crowd that is at this speakeasy setup. So I'll approach and I'll say, "Hi, sugar, are you rationed?"
Depends. I mean, too much fantasy, too much sci-fi. I guess you could overload a bit on it.
Oh, well, if you don't feel quite overwhelmed with the fantasy, we do have actually a second edition of Lord of the Rings. It's one of my personal favorites.
No, I adore Lord of the Rings, but recently there's been some problems that I wouldn't say soured it, but kind of. You know what? Don't worry about it. Nick, and he'll offer his hand.
Oh, I'm Sophie. Well, it's actually interesting. With a lot of citrus fruits, things like pineapple, the reason why it can get overwhelming is actually the acids are digesting part of your the tissues in your mouth. So really, if you add something that will take away part of the acids, if you neutralize it a little bit, it can taste much better.
Well,
because you don't have the acidity.
Also, probably some milk, but I was gonna say it's the antithesis of goldfish.
Also a little acidic, so it may not be the best choice for that.
Well, I was gonna say it's the antithesis of goldfish because it smiles back, pineapple eats you back.
Usually, I go for salmon. Oh,
That's fair. Yeah, no.
People that frequent here, they've eaten quite exotic things.
Oh, I'm sure they have, and I'm sure they didn't appreciate a single bit of it.
Yes, I've heard pufferfish is quite good but dangerous. But I've never tried it myself. But yes, I can say I've never had a goldfish.
Yeah, neither have I. I mean, they're adorable. Their memory doesn't last long. Why bother eating one of them? Vera, while this has been going on, has the discomfort grown or lessened?
It is radiating right now. It feels like not quite a migraine because you haven't had one of those in a long time, but something akin to that. You feel a pressure in the back of your head, as does Sophie.
Well, Nick, I mean, what brought you into this place? Did you know about Books and Vermin before you came in? Are you interested in purchasing one of these lovely editions?
Well, I mean, definitely gonna purchase this. Haven't read it, so might as well.
Oh, wonderful. That one is $2,300.
He's going to slowly back towards the bookshelf. So just slide it back in. So,
you're free to read it. I think it's wonderful if people can have a place to read. I mean, you don't have to purchase it. It's just available for purchase. Although some are not available for purchase, no matter what.
Well, I mean,
some people may pull out their checks and say, but no, some of them are not available for purchase.
Anyway, you did mention something I want to bring up. Has anything weird happened here recently? It's like I kind of came here on a bit of a lark. So let's just say something drew me here. But I don't know. I don't know if you know anything about vibes, but let's just say the vibe's a bit weird. No offense.
Vibes?
Feelings, atmosphere, sense of
yes, feelings,
area.
Feelings. We actually do have a section a little bit on psychology. So if you're interested
I'm actually a philosophy guy, so that's awesome. But I mean, just how do I put this? Has there anything been out of the norm around here recently?
Norm. I don't think I've met a Norm recently.
God, I'm an airplane.
As you guys are having this exchange, suddenly, Sophie, that pressure vanishes. And Nicholas, I need a composure and resolve.
I want to use my tempered will for this.
It is not a tempered will. Helps prevent you from being dominated or influenced.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I am also aware of what's happening.
That's fine.
Okay. But that's regardless of if I roll on it. Just so it does not apply in this one. So 6. Two.
Okay. Immediately, you take 3 superficial willpower damage. As you become immediately aware that something has connected to you. And as it pulled back, you felt it's like something was pulling at the back of your head. And the only clue as to what it was is you heard a name. One moment. Julia.
Julian? Any last name?
Spring.
Julian Spring?
Mm-hmm. Not so much like you heard someone else's. You heard the voice of Blanche say the name as it pulls away from you, leaving you without the headache anymore, just the damage.
Nick? Like, there's definitely a demeanor shift in Nick, but it's more like his entire body slumps as if something's just nearly drained him of just faculty and function for It's like, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, do you need a water? You can have this, and I pass my glass of water.
I'm good. Water probably won't help me right now. I do have a question, if I may. Do you know a Julian Spring?
Why don't you come with me up to somewhere a little less boisterous?
I am okay with that, but can my friend join me? He'll stay to the side, but it's not really a chaperone, but he likes to make sure I'm doing okay. Long story.
Actually, why don't we just take a step outside? Get some fresh air.
That's probably fair. I mean, I'd hate to impose on a personal space.
Yes. So she opens the door for the two of them to lead to the street.
Sophie, give me a what's an awareness.
That is 4 successes.
Okay. How far do you lead them out of the building?
Well, I'm currently opening the door for them.
Fair
And
enough.
if they step outside, Sophie considers shutting the door, but then we'll walk out with them.
When you take the moment to consider, as you guys are stepping out, you notice an individual that is... You almost didn't notice them, but you clocked them at the bar, looking kind of around one of the reading nooks, watching the two of you like a hawk, and as the door is going to close, he stands up and begins moving.
What direction are they moving?
Toward the door.
Okay. I'll stand to where I can still see inside of the bar, but we are further out toward the street, so there's less people traffic.
Okay. It looks like you watch they kind of pick a space nearby the door, by a window that they can still see very clearly, but can't access the door if they need to. The scene is yours.
Nick, why do you ask about that name?
Oh, that's... I ain't sure I can. If I told you one of the... No. Let's just say sometimes random thoughts come across my brain, and it's not always a bad idea to follow through. That didn't sound much better. Alex, help.
Who's your friend here?
This is, one of my closest friends, Alex.
Hi, I'm Sophie.
He nods.
Unfortunately, he went through an accident that rendered him mute. He knows ASL, and I can translate for him.
Can he hear as well?
Yes.
All right. Well, yes. To be honest, I haven't heard that name in quite a long time, and it's not associated with anything pleasant.
Yeah. Hearing it wasn't exactly pleasant either, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. I should have brought Grei. No, I should have brought Matt, not Grei.
Is this more of your friends?
Sort of. Hey, what's your thoughts on the daylight?
Well, this is the Sunshine State.
Nope, we're just gonna move forward. And, yeah. So that name. I'm obviously not gonna pressure you if it's really making you uncomfortable, but let's just say, let's just say some mysteries are pulling me towards things, and that's kind of where it led. And I cannot go into how, because it is bonkers.
Are you like an author? Are you trying to do research for a mystery?
With that,
Oh yes, and you don't want anyone to scoop you.
sure.
Yes, well, I mean, like I said, it's not pleasant, so I can't really help with much. But if you're interested in anything else from a long time ago, especially in early Chicago, I'd be happy to give information on that. I've done quite a bit of research.
Chicago, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he'll pull out the drawing of the quill and the eyeball. Does this mean anything to you?
I mean, there's a lot of symbolism in a theater. Maybe it's...
Well, I mean, just if you've ever seen it before.
I do not recall.
Okay. Let's just say Chicago. A lot of things come from Chicago. Not all of them good. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying?
Oh, I don't think I was saying anything at all, actually.
Shit. Was this
That is...
name was this name an author?
Oh, no. But you should be careful with what you say. He might sound like an anchor dangler.
Ankle dangler. I feel I should know what that...
You know, sailor.
Oh, you mean my cursing. Okay. My apologies. Wow. Normally I know how to go about talking.
Well, you are talking.
if we ever talk again, I need to show you a movie called Airplane. And that just went right over your head, didn't it?
Well, I know about airplanes.
Lovely.
I've read quite a bit about them.
You know, it's funny. I want to be so frustrated right now, but somehow I can't be. You just... Alex, she's just... The hillside, she's just too fucking precious.
Kind of raises an eyebrow. Do you think she knows something?
I think, but honestly, without being able to say what the truth is, I don't know how much further I can get.
Do you want to borrow the car?
I put a pin in that, and it'll turn back to Sophie. Sorry
It's
about
really
that.
lovely. I mean, he could probably be a great pianist.
Maybe. Nope. Stay on track.
So, quite a lot of dexterity, all those motions.
Like there is just an audible groan from Nick. So, to clarify, I assume you don't want to talk about what's in relation to that name. Am I correct?
It's just a very unpleasant memories that I'd rather not.
Hey, that's fine. Believe me, if anyone understands unpleasant memories and things
But
we...
trust me, I don't think you need to worry about that name at all.
Okay. One last name. If it's also a problem, don't worry about answering it. Do you know do you know the name Lyndon Carlisle?
Please give me a intelligence. Let's see. Intelligence politics.
That is one success.
The name sounds familiar, but you can't place it.
Feel like I read something about Lyndon. And there's a lot of history to make up for. What was the surname again? Lyndon what?
Carlisle.
Carlisle. No, what is the Lyndon I'm thinking of? No, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't think I know Lyndon Carlisle.
Real quick, Mew, how old does Sophie look?
She looks early 20s.
You speak a lot about how long ago things were. Which in your vernacular. I have to admit, it's interesting. How long is long for you? I suppose.
To what do you refer in terms of how long? How long is what?
Like he'll turn to Alex. I hate to ask this, but please be prepared to knock her out.
A heavy sighs. He kind of puts one foot back, still trying to look as casual as he can.
He's just with his eyes, he's like, I'm so sorry. So, for some people, a long time ago is 5 years. For certain individuals that could be classified as people, technically, could be, 500 years in their lifespan.
Oh, yeah, what you're referring. There's that author in you. It's the something man, right? That's you're discussing with the Dorian Grei. That's it, right?
Honestly, good reference. I'm more thinking of Bram Stoker.
So you're trying to write about a person who's immortal, and they've interacted with historical figures and other people, so you're doing research about those people, aren't you?
What if I said less research, more living it?
Oh, interesting. I think I may know what you're getting at.
Please
but
tell me you are.
apologies. Like I said, you really don't have to worry about Julian, because I don't think that there would be anything currently around that would be interested in that name.
Alex kind of taps your arm. Why don't you maybe drop your boss's name? He'd have to have met him, right?
Yes, but I mean, it's either that or I just give up here. So there's a man goes by the name of Edwin. Kinda has these sweaters. Likes to sit in an office in a place surrounded by art. Know him?
I have met an Edwin recently. Yes. Wonderful
Thank
people,
you,
actually.
turning us.
Knows quite a lot about literature as well.
I'm sure he does. Did you meet him because you entered the city and you had to make introductions to certain people?
Well, yes, of course. You always have to introduce yourself to society.
Gods.
You can't just show
Thank the
up
gods. Okay.
willy-nilly.
I'm 1-2.
1, 2, 3. Like,
If you're not a shattered mirror, then I don't know what is. So.
but yes, I can see why you get along with Edwin with you being an author.
Okay. So just to be clear, we've established that we both like to take part in, wearing the masks out at night. Yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Finally. Okay,
Alex,
there's a reason
I think you're the one struggling here, man.
I hate how right you are, but you're right. Okay, this was entirely my own fault. Anyway, so there's a reason that I need to know the name. It's Clews. It's apparently tied to something that is heavily affecting me. And it's not something pleasant either. In fact, it might be dangerous. This is not a book that I'm writing. This is me.
You think this name is affecting you in the city?
Well, let's just say that Chicago has kind of come to pay a visit down here. And on top of that, there's something that has its own designs on the city.
People
And let's see.
from Chicago are down here.
Yes.
I would like to not believe you.
I wish I could say it was for a good reason.
Do you know for sure people from Chicago are down here?
I see a lot of things, Miss Clews. Yes, I'm very sure.
I may have to consult with my friend Duncan. He's gone at the moment. But he may want to know this. This is thank you, Nick, for this very important information.
I'm sorry if I've made you uncomfortable. Really?
Oh, it's fine. If you don't mind, I actually would like to take my powders.
I understand, but one last thing. If this Julia is still walking on Earth, is it possible he's kidnapped people?
Oh, I think many people in Chicago are quite valid for their skills in kidnapping. I think that is something they do quite a bit and quite well and quite traumatically.
Well, I promise to let you go. Please be safe. These people from Chicago have apparently taken an innocent. And on top of my own crap, I'm trying to save this person. So I was looking into everything I could.
So they've taken someone.
An innocent, yes. To get at powerful people. I really want to help. Hey.
I still feel that I need to consult with my friend, but do you have a place that you frequent?
Actually, I do. I own Cigar Stack, a bit further towards the coast. It's a bar and cigar bar and lounge.
Alex immediately shoots you a look.
He sounds like, look, it's been frustrating, okay?
You're the one gonna have to explain it.
I know. Well, that cat's already out of the bag. But yeah, you can find me there if you wish to talk.
Right. If you have more information about these people, I would very much like to know. I will be here.
Well, Miss Clews, considering I gave you more information than I got in return, considering I think it's fair that you earn a little bit more trust.
Yes, well, I will see you again, Nick and Alex. I do hope you take up the piano, though. I think you might be quite good at it.
Stay safe, Miss Clews. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you. And she will rush inside the bar and run to the back.
You head inside. Where does Nicholas go?
Well, Nicholas first just cusses himself out endlessly for about 3 minutes for the stupid mistake. Alright.
You look up, Alex is kind of like playfully mimicking like he's using a piano and just kind of smiles. Smooth.
Watch, I'm gonna get you a fucking piano in the bar, and then I'm gonna make you play it.
You buy me a piano, I'll play it.
How come I'm surrounded by people I can't stay mad at? First this chick, and now let's go.
Let's get you home. You head over to the car. Be in the poolway. What is on Sophie's mind as they leave?
Sophie is very concerned, both with the idea that an innocent was taken by possibly people in her past. And she's also very concerned for Duncan and getting in touch with Duncan because she doesn't have a great way to contact him right now.
Okay. We will pull away from Books and Bourbon and head over to another part in town. The three of you pull up to the mortuary. It doesn't look like much of a mortuary at the moment. Maybe very in the point of currently establishing itself. Like maybe this is the location they're considering, but has been used to this purpose because it is close by to the area where the bodies were found. You approach the location, find a place to stop and go inside. At this point, I'll go ahead and let Miss Haywood explain the scene.
You basically walk into a waiting area, and you probably walk into, since it's so probably late enough, there aren't many people like working. So you'd probably just find Dr. Corwin come out first.
Very clean, very properly lit. He steps forward. He's very well dressed. It looks like he maybe was getting ready to walk out for the evening. He already gotten out of his uniform. He stops as he sees you come in. Are you lost? Are you looking for something?
I wouldn't exactly call us lost. Actually looking for Dr. Corbin. We're on business. I believe you might know the name Mr. Kane. Edwin Kane?
He sits there for a moment. What is your name?
Oh, you can call me Grei. Grei Novak, sir.
Mr. Novak. Kind of looks at the other two.
These are my associates.
Sure, follow me. He turns around and he heads back into toward the wall where this heavy wooden door is. He pulls it open, offers to let you inside. After, swipes key card, opens it, offers to let you in.
I'll go ahead and step in. I'm expecting Matt and Bella to have a better eye out than I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna check around the building, but he's the only one we can see, right?
He's the only one that you've encountered, yes.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out as I step inside.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt's going to look around as well, just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Go and give me what's on awareness rolls.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
I got 4.
I got 3.
Okay. He takes you into out of that little main lobby area. Guides you down the hallway a little bit. You get this place does not seem like a mortuary. It almost looks like this has been a old health clinic that's being repurposed. It doesn't really have any of the same vibe that you typically would come into one of these places. He stops by a heavier set of metal doors. Turns back toward you. So, if Mr. Kane sent you, I'm sure you have a very particular business. Are you looking for something specific?
Oh, yes. We're kind of curious. Apparently, you... Dr. Corwin, right?
I am.
There's some sort of knowledge about the individuals found in the bay. The ones with the special shoes.
That's all you're here for.
Yes. And what you might know about them.
Very well. He pushes the door open, takes you inside. This room looks new compared to the rest of the building. You see that there are a few tables laid out. One is completely covered head to toe. 2 of them have the sheet pulled down to about their abdomen with the bodies exposed. And there's an individual kind of hovering over one of them. And I'll let Maggie take word.
You will see a woman in her early 30s. Beautiful, wild red curly hair just pulled back into a low ponytail, lots of strands kind of coming out. And with a sketchbook as she's kind of crouched on a stool and muttering to something or someone as she is sketching what looks like the face of someone. And there seems to be various articles that look like they were carefully taken off of their faces or their bodies near her in containers. She'll blink and look up at all of you and then look to Dr. Corwin. Tilt her head to the side.
He kind of gives you a look and then turns toward them. She's just here to do some sketches. Please don't pay her too much mind. Now, it brings you over to the bodies. Is there anything in particular that you're needing to see? He pulls the blanket back on the first one. I'll say on your wits and awareness rolls, this individual loosely resembles Edwin. You notice that there are several holes, kind of pairs of holes going along the sides, behind the eye, going toward the ear. Other than that, he is kind of just a tall, kind of lanky, white male. He has a little bit of reddish stubble and hair.
I'll be honest, I'm no expert when it comes to bodies. I was hoping that you could potentially tell me what I should be looking for.
He says this kind of loud enough to make sure that Maggie can hear. You are certain Mr. Kane didn't have anything specific that you needed to see? Or send you to me? Anyway?
Well, as it is potentially related to Chicago, I was hoping that you could explain, other than the concrete shoes, what we might be dealing with.
So your business is not specifically the bugs.
I'm going to say mine is not, but I'm not going to say that's the case for Mr. Kane.
So the three of you are under Mr. Kane's employment? Kind of hear her pipe up from where she's sitting.
Yeah, you could say that. And Matt's going to gravitate towards her because he saw sketching and he's like, oh, this is kind of creepy, but I'm also interested.
Bear, I'm gonna glance over the bodies. Have the autopsies been performed on the ones that are with the blanket down?
As you're kind of looking over, it looks like these are after the autopsies have been completed.
Did the autopsies come up with anything interesting?
Oh, they were drowned.
Well, that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But no beating first, or?
I think the interesting part was that these sunglasses were stapled to all of their faces. A little too small.
Stapled.
Mm-hmm. She kind of just points out the holes in their faces and the ones with the sunglasses in the containers near it.
Bear, just to make sure, clarify, the body looks similar to Edwin.
One of them very much does.
Okay. The other two, do they look like anybody recognizable?
Not recognizable.
Okay.
Pretty sure these were meant to send a message to someone.
Well, they haven't been identified, have they?
Not yet, but that's what I'm here for.
What are you drawing?
I am doing a forensic sketch. I do reconstructions. She kind of turns the sketch pad to Matthew so he can see what she has done so far.
Oh, nice. I was expecting something a little more Fusili and Koya, but much better than I was planning.
Oh, I don't bring those sketchbooks to work.
Okay. Interesting.
Corbin speaks up. Considering the accurate nature of your business here, I will tell you what I can about the bodies. Obviously, they were drowned. Clearly, this was an execution in some capacity. They each did have a set of glasses. This one, gesturing at the one that looks most like Edwin, was wearing, gestures over to the counter, a flat cap and a heavy wool coat that's much too heavy. Or too big. They were found a short time ago by a fisherman. A scuba team found the other two. Not very.
Weekend at Bernie's. Sorry, go ahead.
Generally, that is the information that I have. These were clearly just executions. I do agree with Miss Haywood in regard to whether or not it was about it being a message, but I do believe this business is beyond my expertise. Turns toward Maggie. Is there anything else you need from me before I leave them to you?
No, I think they will be quite fine with me.
Okay, I will be nearby if you need anything.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Corwin.
He nods his head and he steps out of the room.
So, what do about these bodies interest you?
I'll be honest. Nothing about them interests me. Just looking into this for Edwin's benefit.
Matt's going to slowly walk towards the one that looks like Edwin and just stare down at it and start getting this kind of maniacal grin on his face.
I'll walk by and elbow Matt at the grin.
We don't need Edwin. We got him. And he'll just look at Bella.
Well, that depends. Were you, turn to Maggie, planning to do anything with these bodies after you had finished whatever you're doing here?
Usually, they are kept until they are identified and returned to their families for burial.
And if their
What do you
families
plan-
can't be found?
Well, usually they are given a grave or some sort of remembrance in some form. What are you looking to do with that body?
Over to Matt.
Well, it's a little complicated. Borrowing it just for a little while? We'll bring it back, mostly intact, I hope.
The bodies usually don't come here intact, so pieces missing doesn't really bother me. Usually bothers the spirit, but they can be negotiated with.
You talk to their spirits, or somebody you know talks to their spirits?
She kind of glances around the room and where they're at. Hello, my name is Maggie Haywood of Clan Hekata.
That's why he left the room. I wondered. I'm going to wander over to the other two bodies, and I'm going to, as I'm looking at them, pop a premonition on the first one. I would like to see their murderer.
Need a pretty good roll.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm going to blood surge.
go for it.
And while she's doing that, Grei will bow slightly. Grei, Novak. Go away.
Pleasure.
Matthew, also Toreador.
We can't imagine it's easy for a pair of roses to be in a morgue.
I've been in worse places recently, actually. Besides, I have Matt.
I'll take it. 8 successes with a messy critical.
Oh shit! All right, that's fair. Okay, well,
My condolences?
take the hunger compulsion.
We do take what we can get.
Just a second.
And as I've recently been shown, there is beauty in morbidity.
There is. So, why do you need these bodies? Or that body specifically?
At this moment. Bellatrix, which body did you pick?
Are they both male, female? It's
There's-
not the one that looks like
Okay,
Edwin,
there are three
so
bodies. One is male, one is female. The other one is male, looks like Edwin.
I'll take the female.
Yeah. Almost immediately, you're viewing from a different space. You hear the dripping of water coming from another space behind you, but you're not able to really pan your line of sight. You can feel that something is preventing you from stepping forward. Suddenly, you see what looks to be like a large hand kind of pressing down on your shoulder. You see it flex a couple of times in your peripheral and then tighten again. And you see a set of palish kind of yellow eyes kind of peering from a shadow on the other side of the room.
Two questions before you
Yes.
continue. One, is it the same yellow as I saw before?
It is.
Okay. And two, is that similar shadows to what we saw Edwin in the cigar shop? And Irina's, like where he was shadowed.
You could tell there was an unnaturalness to that shadow when you were witnessing Edwin. This is just somebody who is completely hidden within the already present shadow.
Okay.
Suddenly you feel that pressure on your shoulders lifted. You see this light begin to finally emanate into the room as the floor opens up in front of you, providing just a little bit of light to show a partial profile of the eyes, as you see a very grayed, dead-looking skin moving up into a very elongated, bat-like ear. There is kind of like a gross, rotted, pulled back flesh around where the mouth is. As he quickly recedes back into the shadow, you feel a shove as you feel yourself with a heavy weight at your feet. Suddenly everything's dark, and you snap back.
Need to stage a kidnapping? To answer your question?
She kind of looks at the bodies at the cement shoes, then back up at Matthew. So, this was a message to whoever your bait. Yes?
It's looking that way. Either that or the people that did this have one hell of an eye. Either
Well-
way, I count it as a blessing.
Well, if it's meant to look like Mr. Kane, then it shouldn't be terribly difficult, since they already look like dead bodies.
Yeah, there's one slight hitch. I kind of need to stab it.
He needs to stake it.
Yeah, I need to make
Okay.
it look like it's... Yeah.
I'm sure Grei could help with that with some of his new friends. Especially the very special one.
This is not the time or place, Bella. Please.
I'm telling you that you could help. Make it look real.
You want...
Grei can come up with a story. He's always good at that. You're right, Grei. You were right.
Thank you. I'm always right.
No, you were right about what you said earlier. Of why we came here.
Right. I'm always right.
And what are you going to give me for this?
How... Huh. How much will this put you out? Like, if we just... Obviously, those are going to have to go, and he'll point at the, cement shoes. Or could this, make it a little lighter to get it out of here?
Actually, may I? Matt?
Sure, why not?
How would you like a favor, a boon from the Keeper of Elysium?
That'll do it.
It's only a minor boon, but one body that can still be buried later.
That'll work. Because I will need to, fix up the body after you have mutilated it.
Of course.
And I will need to make sure the spirit doesn't actually try and haunt all of you for doing such things to the body. They can get quite chatty when they have unfinished business. But yes, that'll suffice.
Excellent.
So were they looking to drown Mr. Kane, or put him so deep underwater that he would go into a very deep, deep sleep and just twist?
Not exactly sure there. All I know is they want him, and I really want to meet them.
Bella's gonna go stand by the door, kind of shifting from one foot to the other, a bit antsy.
You said you popped Sensei, right?
I did not.
You did not. Okay.
Though she is talking about spirits, so I will.
There is something that seems to be clinging to at least one of the bodies at the moment.
Edwin's? Fake Edwin's? Edwin's.
Which one were you sketching?
Probably one of the two men.
I think the way I introduced it, you guys went to the one that she was not sketching, so then I'll pick that one.
Okay. I think I see one.
They like having input on how they're drawn.
I didn't know that they were critics even in death.
People are always people. And I mean, we're dead, and we're still critics.
true. And I suppose the mind is still there.
This will last longer than people anticipated to. But it sounds like whoever this is has a very interesting way that they want to kill Mr. Kane. I can't imagine it would be so fortunate, though.
At this point, Matthew, you get a text. It says it's from Haywood. Window is closing. Yeah. You don't have much time left. What are we doing?
He'll look between Bella and Grei and Maggie. You think we can pull it off? And he'll just kind of nod towards the body.
If this is what you want to try, sure, we can pull anything off.
I will require more detail, but yes.
I think we can do it.
Little spackle. It'll be fine. He'll text back to Edwin. Change of plans. Won't need to go through with it on your end. We found you a stunt double.
After a moment, you just get back. Noted. Let me know if you need anything.
Will do. All right, and see, Bella, you were worried we wouldn't have a plan. Come on. Like Grei said, nothing to worry about.
This isn't a plan. This is a object that is part of a plan. What is the plan?
We're going to put a stake in him and send these people proof that we have him. And then we're going to take this poor, unfortunate soul to where they want us to meet them.
And what happens then?
Oh, hell breaks loose.
I didn't say it was a great plan. I'm still working. This was a break in it, okay? This so far has been better than I've already anticipated.
I will agree to it because you have eliminated one of the major sticking points I had. So fine. Keep coming up with the plan.
Now we just need to get a head count. That's the important part. Head count and what they have at their disposal.
Who is they?
Whoever it is that wants him. And he will air quote as nodding down to the body.
Let's see. Are you... Oh, look to Maggie. Are you joining in on this?
I get the feeling that I am, and it seems neat. I'm curious.
See, team player already. I like her.
Fine. Okay, look. They have Ballard, Anderson, and Bateman as a connection, at the very least, that got them that nice little building. Which is... What was it called again, Barra? Harrison and...
Shit. Yeah, it was
Harrison Shipping and something?
It was Harrison Freight.
Harrison Freight.
Harrison Freight. Right. Harrison Freight. So those are connections they have because they were on that property, and it seems to be a base that they've set up, which are probably using the trucks from Harrison Shipping. So maybe we can track those. Or Harrison Freight, yeah.
Okay, so we have Nick, man in the van, trying to track the trucks, see if he can't pinpoint anywhere they're going on some cams. We got me and Grei with the football.
I will say it's likely all right if you do not come out with the kind of glances down at the body football.
Well, worst case scenario, but hopefully he'll kind of look around if whoever previously occupied this is listening. I'm not doing it to be malicious. It's to help a friend, I promise. But I will do my best to get it back out and returned.
Your effort will be noted. But do you have an exit strategy?
Work in
He's
progress.
Still working on it.
But it's a start.
And that seems like a fine place to end. We will go ahead and end the session here. Thank you all for tagging along, and thank my lovely players for playing, and those joining us for whatever ride we're going to call this. We will see you all next week.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Bloody Strings is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pact. The storyteller for Bloody Strings is Devlin. Tonight's characters were voiced by Kyrie, Noree, Lekar, Truckexe, MissyMew, and Kendall. Visit our website at stpbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.